Welcome. It's us again.
If you didn't sound like Roscoe Jenkins, whoa. What did you say?
I said welcome.
Oh, walk.
Welcome.
That's country. Walk.
Now you making it seem like I just had tobacco in my mouth. I'm trying to spit
That's
something
what
out.
it sound like. Whoa. It's us. You can clear your throat. You know how you dip snuff.
Well, I said I was having old bronchitis.
That ain't a word. Bronchital.
Bronchitis.
All right.
Symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's coming up on the show.
well, I ain't gonna just do a nice little loogie.
All right.
But hey, it'll happen. If it happens, it happens. It's us. Me, JT,
Mike B.
Mike B. We're here for another recap of Iyanla, the 5th episode, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yes, the 5th episode. This one, it was more like stuff I've seen before. As far as I wouldn't say like the tactics she used, but how they got there. It was almost textbook.
Nah, I agree with you
Couple
on that
therapy.
one. It was when you think about problems in a relationship, everything seemed predictable, aside from her tactics. What Iyanla used to kind of get them to see the light.
Yeah,
But we've heard relationship issues and like the man having issues, the woman having issues, and everything they say. We've heard it before. So this one was a predictable type of episode, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, she Iyanla gives it to you.
Yeah, it was still some lessons in this.
It's in there. That she gives you.
All right, you sound
She
like
give you that drama.
My precious.
Have you heard her talk? Sounds like she been smoking since she was 3. Yeah.
I think she just got that old school. That's that soul. She got a soulful voice.
That's just old.
Oh.
Wherever it is,
Right.
it's old and sound somewhat decrepit. The couple was a Caucasian couple. I think that's the first time.
I don't even remember their name.
That's how.
Now that's sad. Like the whole time I was just into the story. I wasn't really. Nope, don't just think of two white.
I'm serious. I think.
Dave.
I'm thinking the same.
Samantha. No. Anyway, let's call them the couple.
Yeah, the couple.
Heather. You're gonna keep just grasping for straws.
You doing more grasping than I am. You done changed about 4 or 5.
We ain't talking about me though.
It's a Caucasian couple, and they're going through. They had this like on the eve of their 5th wedding anniversary. They got a daughter. She's adopted, and that's more on the mother's end. We'll get to that, but they having issues,
Right.
Intimacy issues. I would think.
Yeah, I mean they haven't had sex. Well,
yeah, they
after
say
being married 5 years, they said about 20 times they've had sex, and that number seems low. But then
it is.
But people that you talk to, maybe 20 is low. But people that you talk to say once you get married, that's when like the sex kind of stops and slows down.
I mean, they hold to that true. That 20 times in 5 years.
So I mean, it didn't seem unusual to me, because I'm already scared of marriage. Period. And this is one of the reasons. It's because you don't get none. You know what? 5 years. So that's what 4 times a year. Probably holidays
and birthdays, huh?
Maybe so. But yeah, we're trying to get to the root of why they don't want to have sex with each other.
Yeah,
and it's got to be deeper than just sex,
of course, or it wouldn't be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so Iyanla shows up, and it's a small shanty of a house.
Shanty.
Mm-hmm. And she's in there, that's the first thing she noticed. Woo!
She kept saying it's kind of tight.
Yeah.
One of them like uncomfortable types. You know,
like
you looking around, making sure that the walls ain't gonna fall in on you. You get claustrophobic. I was feeling this. I'm watching.
She making me. I'm like, man, turn on the fan, please.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
But she's in there.
But you would think though, with a small house like that, you couldn't help but be intimate. I mean, you ain't got no choice.
But they had doors, so once the door closed, the intimacy stops.
I know.
Ooh, I might use that.
That wasn't like, anything.
That was nice little wisdom.
All right.
So she goes, in the house, and then she goes into the room, and it seemed like the room is just it really got small. Like it's Alice in Wonderland all of a sudden, and so they kind of crept up in this room, and she said, "Well, sit down." I was about to use my Iyanla voice, but no. I didn't want to bring it out.
Yeah, because it ain't Iyanla.
They sit down on the bed.
Hey, come over here and sit down. That's not Iyanla's voice.
So they excuse me. They sit down on the bed, and I don't know. They seem like they start crying. They was crying for something.
But usually, when Iyanla first get there, she lets them know, hey, shit's gonna get real. So are you in? She asked both of them, are you in?
But it was something that made she always make them cry.
She said, why am I here? And then he was saying, I don't have the opportunity to be myself. I can't really talk to my wife. And that made the wife kind of cry because she knew she was part of the problem. And it was a lot of things that kind of shocked me in this episode too, which I'll get to as we
journey on.
And that kind of made the wife feel some kind of way. And the wife's issue was he doesn't really he doesn't look at her as if he likes her.
Okay.
There's no, like we said, there's no intimacy. Mm. There's no love, and she feels like she probably, I don't know if she knows how they got here, but she's afraid to even delve into why they got there. And then remember she talked about the daughter.
Was that then, or was that with her when she was by herself?
No, that was
when they was together. Yeah. Okay, she asked him why
Because remember she said that she was going to have a daughter. Yeah, she was going to have a daughter by any means necessary, and she ended up adopting a daughter. And it does seem kind of selfish because you got a husband, and
But hey, 20 times in 5 years,
you can make a baby in one time.
You can make a baby, but the eyes ain't well.
You better. I know you got a couple relatives that could probably tell you different.
Yeah.
Shoot, it ain't no. Just because it's Caucasians, don't mean that they can't get pregnant on the first time.
Oh well, I don't know. She must have a calendar, and then the 4 times of the year. That's that was the right time.
It makes you wonder if the 20 times they did have sex, if it was
enjoyable.
It couldn't have been.
Because you didn't want no more for another 3 months. And that's 20 times.
I guess that's one way to look at it, but that's kind of sad. But
that is sad. That ain't kinda. That's just ridiculous.
Yes.
But then she told him to hug her, or she started crying. Console your wife and all of that. And I guess I think she was just breaking them down. Gotta crumble them up before you build them back up. I'm hot tonight. That's another one.
That was dumb. Crumble them up.
You gotta crumble them up before you build them back up.
All right.
I need to write some of this down. And so that was the first day, or that part of the scene. Mm-hmm. That seemed like that was the end of it. And she got hold of the wife first.
Yeah, she talked to the wife.
She takes her outside. They do their little walk, and she basically told her, I was abused.
Wife told Iyanla.
Yeah, the wife told Iyanla, I was abused when I was 4, I guess. Was that the day she can, or the age it started?
Well, no. It started with the fact that her parents, I guess, didn't want her, and they gave her away when she was 3 weeks. and then she was adopted.
Yeah, she was adopted.
And then her, I guess her adopted father abused her to the age of 12, but then their neighbor sexually abused her at the age of 4.
Okay.
And what probably hurt her the most was the fact that when she finally told her adopted mom that her father had been, sexually abusing her, she said she wasn't going to choose her daughter over her husband. So she took her back to the agency, I guess. She just gave her back up.
Like a foster.
The foster home. And that was,
that's cruel.
That's cruel. Now that's a gem right there.
I'm hot tonight.
But you didn't make that up. But that's exactly what it was. It was cruel and unusual, especially for a mother to say that to a daughter.
And to do that.
And to actually follow through with it.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that maybe the mother knew all along that the father had been messing with the daughter. But it was up until the point when she said something. Then she had to acknowledge it. And that's sad. Nobody should have to go through that.
Do you think on those type of deals like sexual abuse in the house, the daddy or the daddy with the daughter or son, whoever, do you think like the spouse, it could be the man or the woman, do you think the spouse knows like a more percentage? Like you said, like in most wives or girlfriends know that their kids are being abused. Just period.
I feel like in this case, it seems, based on her response, it seemed like she knew. I'm just saying, like, overall. But overall,
don't you think like they would have some
just like maybe they have an inkling that something ain't right,
and
you would think that there would be some type of signs, like
how the daughter reacts to him when he
he's
comes
in the
around.
room. Yeah, but I don't know. I think I'd be willing to bet that more people knew or know than what we think.
I can see that.
More people know than what we think. And we remember, I think on the last, it wasn't really sexual abuse, it was just regular abuse. Where we dealt with that on the last episode of Iyanla. The girls.
Okay, yeah.
But this was actually sexual. So that's why the wife remembers this situation as if it was yesterday. She remembered how the sheets looked in the house. She remembered how the bathroom smelled. She was
going in and
everything.
She said, "Hey, quit that shit," because she was
reliving it.
She was like, just went. I smell the sheets, really giving. I'm like,
I started to smell the sheets.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
she was taking me too far in.
If she knew it, she had to stop it. I'm glad she did, because she was making us go in with her.
And I don't like stuff like that. I don't like to see. I don't like to hear, because I become, I don't know. It makes me start to hate people that would do stuff like this to other people. And it don't take me but a second to hate. Which is that's not right. We should love thy neighbor, except for that motherfucker that was touching that girl. Excuse my language, but anyway. So she's the mother, the wife, is those are like some of the issues that she's having that stem from her growing up. So now she has this wall built up that Iyanla, the wife is a photographer. So Iyanla had her to take a picture that represents her life, and she took a picture of like a tree in the fall that had no leaves. So Iyanla went and picked up a whole bunch of leaves off the ground, and then the leaves, I guess what the wife was trying to say is a perfect life for her would be this picture of the tree in full bloom with leaves all over it, just green and just glowing and just a tree being a damn tree. Healthy. There you go again. There you go again.
Hey.
You full of it. But so Iyanla went and grabbed some dead leaves and began, she put like this little rope around the girl's neck. It wasn't a noose, so when I say rope, don't think that. And she started clothespinning these dead leaves around the woman's heart, because that was like what she was protecting
or shielding.
Shielding. Protect, shield.
Shielding is the same.
And that she was blocking her husband and everybody else from getting in, and that was part of her issue. That's why he can't get in there. He can't. They can't be intimate if you holding your heart from me. I mean, come on now. What am I after?
And that brings us to the husband.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what made him, why couldn't he get into her heart? You know, he shared with somebody else. The man cheated.
Yep.
On his wife. And she, you know, Iyanla was talking to him, you're like, what could, you know, the lady do that, you know, basically your wife couldn't do? And he was like, well, you know, she listens.
And that's one of the points I wanted to. Can we push pause for just a second? Because I don't know if a lot of this was a very good episode, because I think a lot of women think guys be playing when they haul off and cheat. I'm not condoning cheating. I'm not saying that it's right. Nothing like that. But believe me when I say that a man can cheat and not have any feelings. He's not cheating because he's looking for love, because that's what he got you for. I don't think there's any doubt in his mind that his wife loved him. But when he went and tried to talk to her, she was coming in with all that extraness and then giving him attitude, making him feel less of a man. Mm-hmm. And that's not what he needed.
Man,
so when he found this side piece that actually listened to him, he wanted to give of himself. Because it was just so simple. She could have been a crackhead with 2 teeth, but she listened. And probably in that moment, she looked more beautiful to him than his wife. And that's sad.
That's very.
It is sad.
If you got 2 teeth.
But I don't think women really believe us when we say, you know, when we shut
like
up.
We don't,
just shut up and listen. And then when we cheat, well, if I don't, like I said, I don't condone it. But when we do cheat,
that's true, Mike.
It doesn't mean that we're searching for love. Mm-hmm. So it's just we're searching for something else that you're not giving us, and it's not always just love. Sometimes it's just peace and quiet.
Sometimes it's that point.
But anyway, you know, that's what Iyanla told. He was like, she listened, and that's all he was looking for, because he got some shit inside he's dealing with. Iyanla wanted to talk to him about, okay, well, what kind of issues? What's going on? How did we get here? And what did he say?
I wouldn't say the classic, but classic. He was abused when he was young. When he was a young boy. Did he say by who? Yeah, was it a family friend?
Yeah, I think he said a family friend, and it was like a man.
Yeah,
that took him, like he said they were going to get
somewhere.
Some cokes.
Yeah, you know,
the gas station or something.
Lured him, and he said he basically raped him, and that's ooh. That's
and so that's I mean, you holding on to that for all these years. You didn't even tell your wife that you was married before. So if you can't, and that's something that's normal shit. If you can't tell your wife that you've been married before, you for damn sure ain't finna tell her that another man, even though you were young.
Now that's ridiculous.
You know, you were young and you didn't know what was going on, and somebody took advantage of you. Mm-hmm. And how old? Do you remember how old he said he was?
I'm thinking I think he was under 10, but I like grade school age.
But you definitely can't if you can't talk to her and because she makes everything about her, and she's just giving you all this attitude, and to where you feel like what you're saying is irrelevant. You know, it's nothing. So he didn't have the opportunity to open up to his wife, and who would? I don't even know if I would want to ever open up that much and tell my wife. But they had got grown so far apart that you had to dig down into the. You had to peel all that onion. Yeah, you had to peel it off. It was stanky too, but she had to get down to the crux.
Yeah,
is that a crux? Is that a biblical term? No,
I couldn't tell you.
You know
is that a term? Period.
You know what I mean.
In the crux.
The epitome.
The epitome.
You know, like the innermost deep parts of your belly. Or your soul, maybe your soul.
That's when it's real. Mm-hmm. The soul. I guess that works.
So that's what he's dealing with. And now these two, they both dealing with like sexual abuse issues and childhood.
Both of them just
and both of them hold on to it.
And they hold on to their wounds. That's crazy.
And it's like, how did you expect for
it to work?
I don't know. You can continue to live a lie.
But there wasn't no relationship. Before, they fell in love, but it seemed like once they fell in love, okay, the work was done. and they
so
fell
you
in
saying
love.
they courted each other?
They courted each other, but they didn't really tell each other nothing.
Oh, but when you're courting, that's when you really don't. You don't have
telling
to,
all your lies.
Yeah, you don't have to be all upfront and honest.
Yeah,
you got to say what they need to hear.
That's what I'm saying. You telling all your good lies.
Yeah, your good lies.
Your good lies.
And that's not right, because you would think that somebody. Well, I guess the reason some people don't open up as much before they get married is because there's a possibility that you won't get married. Yeah. So you don't want to, I guess, push them away. But then once y'all get married, then you have that confidant, somebody you can actually talk to and confide in.
Well, but they didn't do that. They kept their facade going.
Yeah. So
but I think that's a lot. What happens though?
I
think that's perfect. If if what you just said, that's just too perfect.
What?
I mean, you don't share nothing, and then once you get married, you share.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they usually still hold on to that shit.
You think people don't actually?
Don't. Yeah, that's why because they don't know. That's why they're getting divorced now.
Well, they don't know. No, I feel like they're getting divorced because the reasons that they got married were not up to par.
That too. I'm thinking past habits or your past got a whole bunch to do with how you act now in the future, and some things that just silly stuff that can get worked out, and it's just, but
you don't talk about it.
You don't talk about it.
Communication key
is the key.
So Iyanla,
she brings them back together. Yeah. Where are they? Are they outside on a bench?
Who?
The people.
Remember she talked to him outside the wrecking yard.
No, I'm trying to figure out where they. Okay.
She had him
spend the night. Different.
She had him spend the night in the hotel, and then the wife spent the night by herself, and then the next day they were in the swimming pool. The swimming pool scene.
They could have skipped over.
Well, they probably could have skipped over it, but for that couple, they needed to learn to trust each other again.
I'm talking about entertainment value.
Oh yeah, it wasn't. But
I mean, we basically heard what they said before. No, and we just not the full of it.
Yeah, I'm saying I felt like
the PG-13 versions of what they told Iyanla. They told it to each other, and then when they got back later on, that's when
we got the full version.
Yeah, when they got deep on,
in the
and the healing was beginning. Mm-hmm. But when they was in water, they told basically, I don't trust you because of blah blah blah. You don't hear me, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. And what did she say?
They was carrying each other. Basically, I'm here to hold you while while you going through, or I'm here to listen.
I'm here to hold you while you're going through. And that I think that signifies exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't say it and Iyanla never put it in those words, I feel like that's what was going on because she was holding him while he got to spill his guts and share with her how he actually felt.
Yeah.
And she was still there to hold him.
I'm not gonna let you.
I'm not gonna.
Hey, it's the 6th episode.
You find
I need a more practice now. I don't need to go to school. I can go my own practice. But after they did the little swimming, it seemed like a trust exercise.
Yeah, it was a trust because she didn't trust him. She told him she didn't trust him anymore because he cheated, and she just he allows her to basically push him around. And she acknowledged that.
Yeah, she did. She was like,
I want you.
You did that.
I want you to be the man in this relationship. You need to be the man up and quit allowing me to run over you.
Because I do.
And another thing that I noticed, me being a black man, I felt like it's only black women that act that way.
I wasn't saying all.
No, I'm saying this. This is what I was thinking. I was thinking that it was only, this black women are the only ones giving that attitude and try to run over you and try to, control the man.
I think that's just a man-woman thing.
It doesn't, it goes beyond the color.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that opened my eyes seeing that tonight. I'm like, so brother, you going through the same thing that I be going through.
And you had a smile on.
Yeah. I'm like,
Every loves company. You was smiling.
You don't get no points for that one.
Oh no, that was just the truth. That was just the truth.
Okay, and then we end up back at the house.
Yeah, she got them together, and she was basically, you know, it sounded like first like she started off. It's almost like the same like the last scene. You know, tell them what you need to tell them or whatever.
Oh,
and they
like
seemed like they were, you know, and they were beating around the bush. You're like, okay, now tell me really what you need to say to each other.
And this is when the husband actually shared with the wife that he had been sexually abused,
raped.
And what was a little weird to me was the wife. She got emotional, and Iyanla was like, "How do you feel right now?" She said she felt sad. And I think that's the typical response, because you don't want to. You feel sad to hear that somebody that you love or care about or appreciate goes through some trauma like that. I think that's the typical natural response. Yeah. But Iyanla was like, "Shut that shit up."
Now she was about to go in again.
Do you think so?
I smell these sheets.
No, you know she wasn't.
Man.
No,
I'm telling you, she was about to go back in.
She said, you know, he telling you all this, and you got the nerve to be over there talking about you feel sad. Change your answer.
Because she was about to go with that same answer.
I don't think so.
You saw it in her face. She was about to go down that line. His cologne.
Get out of here.
You know.
But anyway, she said once she had to change her answer because she got it wrong, which I don't know. You can get it wrong. She said she appreciated the fact that he trusted her enough to share that with her. Yeah. And that's where we see the growth. Because now they're looking at it from a different perspective. He opened up to her. She accepted it. She's like, you know, your truths are safe with me. And that's what we need. I should be able to come and talk to my wife and tell her any and everything. Even if I don't, I should be able to and know that what I say to you is not, you're not going to look at me funny. You're not going to treat me differently. You're going to still love me for the man that you married and that you fell in love with. Because I'm going to try to continue to be that man. And I felt like now they are getting to that point.
Sound like you gonna have some things to tell your wife. that's I'm reading between the lines. I'm like, this brother got some issues that he gonna need to air out to his wife.
Baby, get ready.
You didn't say marry me. Straight up.
I ain't got time for this shit.
But they worked it out. They worked it out. You know, now, you know, they gave a little update and saying, you know, now they can be healthy parents and show the daughter, a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship,
and do simple things like go out to dinner or cook dinner together.
They
or just spend time together.
Yes.
Just love each other.
And I bet he kind of resented the daughter a little bit.
Yeah, because he probably didn't even want to have a daughter. Yeah. But then he also knew that he wasn't really trying to have his own daughter, because I feel like when guys do that, you never know. It's like you're reserved because you don't think that this thing is going to work out, and you don't want to have that
child. And you don't want to be with that person for the next however you living. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You right on with that, brother.
Hey, they used to call me right on.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like they're starting a healthy relationship. Everything's good. Iyanla still did her thing. You know, it's almost classic now. Mm-hmm.
Next episode, I think gonna be good. We're gonna hear some gospel music, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got the sisters.
The sisters, yeah, they got a group or something. Group. So we're gonna hear some music, hopefully, because I need some Jesus in my life.
And plus, they got I don't know what I was about to.
Because we only saw like 30 seconds. It wasn't even that much.
It seemed like I wanted to say something else.
You got a word from God. And he told me to tell them. Anyway, that's all I got.
And that's all there is, people. Until next time.
Thank you guys for watching.
Peace.